son's rich friend's parents wanted to adopt him, but when I refused, they made our life a living hell. I'm 24 and a single mom to my 8-year-old Owen. It's been just us since he was born. His dad disappeared and never paid support. My parents cut me off, and I worked any job I could to keep us in a small one-bedroom. We don't have the newest stuff, but we have what we need, and I try to make birthdays and holidays nice, even if they're simple. Our city uses a school lottery, and the school near us isn't great, so I put Owen in a school across town near my job. In 2nd grade, he met a boy named Charlie, and they clicked fast. Soon Owen was at Charlie's house a lot after school. I met Charlie's parents, Nate and Paige. They seemed kind, had time and money, and liked planning activities. When I missed spring break camp signups, Paige offered to watch Owen. He came home glowing, talking about crafts, parks, and movies. I tried to pay her back a little. She refused. I felt weird about the money part, but I didn't want to pull Owen from something safe and fun. That summer he did a low-cost camp and still spent tons of time with Charlie. Nate and Paige even asked if he could join a short vacation nearby. I hesitated, then said yes because it was close, and I couldn't give him trips like that. They told me he was polite and easy. When I asked Paige why she wanted him around so much, she said they tried for more kids and it never happened, and they liked that Charlie had a brother to play with. I told myself it was harmless. By Christmas, they told me to skip camp again. They'd take him while I worked. They bought him more gifts than I did. I swallowed my to feel like too much for a friend's kid. This past spring break, they pushed further and asked if he could stay the whole week overnight. I said yes because I could pick up extra shifts and save for the bike Owen wanted. When I arrived Saturday to bring him home, the kids were in the yard, and Nate and Paige sat me down. They said they loved having Owen, that he was a joy. Then Paige suggested he stay longer. I said no. School started Monday, and I wanted him home for Easter. They offered to take him to school. I said it was time to come home. Nate then said Owen should live with them long term, and that I would still see him. I thought it was a bad joke, and said, like you'd be his guardians? They got quiet, and then started talking about paperwork I could sign, how they'd make the transition smooth, and how it would be best for Owen. My stomach dropped. I told them absolutely not. I grabbed my son, left, and blocked them. Owen didn't know what happened. I took Monday off, kept him home, and started calling people. I told the school Nate and Paige were not allowed to pick up Owen and why. They flagged his file. I called the police to make a record. They said asking to be guardians isn't a crime, but to call if anything happened. That night, I told Owen the truth in simple words. Nate and Paige wanted to take him away from me. He cried, hugged me tight, and said he didn't want to see them again. I told him he could still talk to Charlie at school if he wanted, but he should never leave with Nate or Paige, and the school knew. The next day, he rode the bus to his after-school program like usual. I had already told the school and the program that Nate and Paige were off the pickup list. A half hour later, the center called. Paige had out. The front desk refused. She wouldn't leave, so they called the police, who escorted her out. There was a report. I filed for an order of protection, and the center banned Nate and Paige. If they came back, they'd be trespassing. Social services was notified, so any future claims from them would be viewed with context. For a while, it was quiet. I was told the boys would be in different classes the next year. On the first day, I saw Charlie's name on Owen's classroom list. I spoke to the principal. He said they couldn't separate the boys and hinted at factors I wouldn't understand. A class email went out from the room moms, and Paige's name was on it. I went back to the office. They said she donates and helps a lot, and there had been no incidents lately. At the first class party, Owen said Paige kept approaching him, asking for my new number and inviting him over. He said no, and told me right away. I lay awake that night and realized I couldn't trust the school to keep my kids safe. I started applying to jobs in other cities. I worked retail, cleaned houses, and babysat, and then I found a live-in nanny job 3 hours away. The family was kind in the interview and said Owen and I could live in their in-law suite. I was nervous to move into a home with people who had kids, but they set clear rules, treated Owen like a guest, and respected that I'm his mom. I told them our story. They were horrified and said they would never cross that line. Without rent or utilities, I finally saved money. Owen switched schools, made friends, and spent afternoons with me and the little ones I watched. No more racing between shifts and aftercare. Our life calmed down. After a while, that family no longer needed a nanny, but they helped me find a better job, and I used my savings to put a down payment on a small condo.